Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kev's Movie Corner. I'm Kev. He is Doug. This week, we are talking about Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens. And, this was, Doug, the first of the Disney Star Wars movies. So, this one, the IMDb summary from this is, as a new threat to the galaxy rises, Rey, a desert scavenger, and Finn, an ex-stormtrooper, must join Han Solo and Chewbacca to search for the one hope of restoring peace. This, like I said, is the first of the Disney Star Wars movies after Disney bought Lucasfilm in the early 2010s, something like that. This came out in 2015. I enjoyed this film. I saw it several times in the theaters. There is one question that I had. I told you last week that I had one question about this.
Yep.
And my biggest question in rewatching this is, I looked at the timeline of this. This movie happens 30 years after the Battle of Endor. So 30 years after the fall of the Empire.
Yep.
So how in the F does a new dictatorship come out of this so quickly after the former one fall? How do you let that happen that quickly? Because that seems like poor. Just you failed as a rebellion if you let that happen that fast.
Yeah, it's part of the I'm not going to say bad storyline, but it's one of the many questions that they just kind of skimmed over and just assumed that you're just going to accept it. And it's like, okay, well, here we are again. We're back.
Yeah, I know they say that it's part of part of the empire that didn't fall formed the First Order, which I guess there's a lot of other planets that had a lot of empire sympathizers and stuff like that. I'm sure.
So my guess is that it was just on another faraway planet that just started forming it. And, once again, like we've talked to me, you got to take a little bit of a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I don't think they really ever explain, I guess when we get to the Rise of Skywalker, there's a lot of stuff that comes back that you learn about, but I don't know that it ever, I only watched that one once. So I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't.
When I watch it again, when I watch it again, maybe I'll pick up on some stuff where there's more explanation where the First Order come from. But yeah, there's nothing in this where they at all talk about anything where who the crap Snork is, or General Hux, or which not diving into any problems with it, but it was a little bit of a soft remake of A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Tarkin, you got General Hux. Instead of Vader, you got Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
You still got a freaking Death Star, even though it's not called that, but it's
just a bigger version of the Death Star. It's just a bigger version of the Death Star.
Yeah, it's after 2 failed attempts, we're going to do this again a third time. It's kind of like being divorced 2 or 3 times. At some point, you got to look in the mirror and say something's not working.
Yeah.
And it's I just and I love J.J. Abrams. I think
he does
so
a really
creative.
Good job. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the movie Super 8 is very creative, good director, good writer and stuff. But like you said at the very beginning, I really did enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is good. But I do look at it as kind of a remake of A New Hope.
It is, again, this is the first time I've ever watched these movies back to back to back like this, and seeing the progression of like graphics and stuff and like the like how things look, like the opening battle sequence in this movie is really cool to watch. Like
It is phenomenal.
it's awesome that like when those stormtroopers come in and like that battle at the beginning is really cool. Like
It's great.
it's really flipping cool to watch. Like
It is so good. And when Poe tries to shoot
yeah.
Kylo Ren right there, and he stops the
Yeah.
beam in midair, and you can hear the hum if you have,
Yeah.
you can hear it on regular TV, but if you have like surround sound going,
Yeah.
I mean,
you can hear it like buzzing.
it is,
Yeah, it's really cool.
really good. And I mean, they go on right there, and I mean, once they get in that piece of garbage, the Millennium Falcon, I have a huge issue on how she just seems to really know how to fly that just as good as Han Solo, but that's besides the point. But oh my gosh, yeah, that whole sequence there, the mix as to where we were discussing back with maybe Attack of the Clones or even a Phantom Menace of trying to integrate humans into CGI and make it all, a smooth symbiont.
Yeah. You don't notice it here.
You don't notice it now. I mean, it is night and day difference.
Yeah.
And I mean, Phantom Menace was 99 and this was 15. So, I mean, 16 years is still a long time, but it oh my gosh. Yeah. It is so good on what they did with the CGI on this. So.
Yeah. And it's cool to watch. Like, cause it is a very, fun like action movie to watch because there's a lot of stuff going on and the battle sequences are just amazing to watch. So
yeah, and they had a lot of attention to detail. Of course, my favorite part is when Chewie and Han when they show up in the Falcon. But they did such a good job making the Falcon look 30 years older.
Yeah,
and, just as good as they did with Solo.
making it look
the Millennium Falcon was brand new. It was white. Everything was crisp and pristine. Where here, it looks like it's an old ship.
Yeah.
And so I like that they aged it and made it look that way. I thought that was that just some of that attention to detail really stood out.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did a very good job of making it look old. Because it is. I mean, at this point, it's what I mean. Solo, it's like 60 years old or something now. I mean, that ship's got to be 50, 60 years old now or something like that. Like, it's got to be up there in age.
Yeah, and they made it look that way. It still could fly, but they aged it properly, I think. So, yeah. Did you have a favorite character? I mean, of the new characters,
of the new ones?
Because obviously we like the old characters, but did you feel that the characters were strong characters?
I mean, I like Rey. I think Rey's a strong character. I like Poe Dameron too, though. Like, I like Poe. I think Poe's a fun character. I mean, I don't. There's not anybody in particular. Kylo Ren, I don't really understand. There was a couple problems that watching this again, where he's like, when he's asking Vader, like there's a scene where he's asking Vader for like guidance to be like the same like level of hatred that Vader had, and I just my immediate thought was, but Vader turned back to the light at the end. Like, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, he didn't stay dark though. Like, that doesn't. Now maybe Kylo doesn't realize that or doesn't know that. I don't know, but like, that kind of like didn't really sit right. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, the part where he calls him grandfather, and of course it's all out, his lineages and stuff like that. I kind of see that, and maybe it's just he's trying to get the darkness out of him that was there and all the power. I mean, I did kind of like how they made Kylo somewhat like Anakin. Yeah. Except he wasn't near as whiny as Hayden Christensen, but he had his temper tantrums.
Yeah.
And they didn't really make him. I didn't feel that they made him question what he wanted to do near as much as what Anakin did. I thought that there was a lot more. I don't know, back and forth on. He was kind of the inner struggle. with Kylo Ren, even at the end with what he did to Han Solo, which I about walked out of the theater. But that's a different story. He kind of played it well, like he was, having these mixed feelings when really I don't think he was. So, but yeah, I don't know. Without giving anything away on the next couple movies and stuff, I think it does explain a little bit more as the movies go along. On that scene alone is kind of leaves you hanging, but I think as the next two go along, you see it kind of comes back and you kind of realize what he's talking about.
I guess that's true.
So,
I also didn't really understand the point of. I don't know if he's just trying to imitate Vader. I don't understand the point of the mask. I don't understand. Is it just to be like Vader? Is it just to imitate? Is it just to intimidate? Is that the point? Like, I guess it looks. It's menacing,
scarier,
like
more menacing and stuff. You can't. That would be my only thought process, But then halfway through the movie,
he takes it off and he doesn't wear it again. Like, he stops wearing it halfway through the movie. So
yeah, and then I don't know. I think it just is trying to make him. Like I said, it's kind of a remake of a little bit of. Yeah, they did deviate a little bit from A New Hope, obviously the storyline, but there's so much similarities there.
Yeah.
And I think it was just he really wanted to impress his grandfather, even though he's dead. But you know how the Force kind of works. That I think what do they say? Imitation. There's something about imitating somebody's like a great honor type thing.
Yeah.
So maybe trying to imitate the type of uniform with the black and all this and that. He was trying to.
Imitation is the best form of flattery, or whatever it is.
There you go. Like that's what I was looking for exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, and Rey even makes the comment when he's like trying to read her mind that he's like afraid that he will never be as strong as Darth Vader or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
When she reads his mind when he's trying to read hers or whatever that is, but
Yeah, and that's another thing of just how can someone who's never been trained in the Force have such, which once again we'll find out
later
in
the movies. Yeah.
So but just on face value, if you just go in and you're not a Star Wars fan. There's just a lot of I would have walked out of there if I didn't have a clue what was going on and been like, I didn't understand so much of what was, and I get that it's made probably more for Star Wars fans. I don't think people are going to go see it if they're not a fan to begin with.
It's not. We talked about A New Hope being a movie where you could have gone in and just watched it, and you didn't have to. It's a standalone movie. You didn't have to watch anything else. You could have enjoyed it, and you didn't have to know anything about Star Wars. Now. That's a little different because it's the first one, so it kind of had to be a standalone movie because there wasn't anything for it. This one doesn't have to be. There's been six other ones, so
true.
It doesn't have to be that. There's fans that have been watching this stuff for 40 years at this point.
Yeah, so maybe almost 50 at this point.
50 years at this point. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a standalone movie. You kind of actually want it to do a little bit of fan service to make those people happy, but
I wish they would have brought. I mean, Han has good time, Han and Chewie, they get plenty of screen time, Leia has a little bit, and not seeing Luke until the very end, I got that, that's the whole, cliffhanger type thing. Let's bring people into the next one to see. So it just would have been neat to see them on the screen together again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we see Han and Leia, but just knowing that you never get to see Han and Luke on the same screen again, there was, I don't know, nostalgia a little bit maybe and stuff. But
I don't know if they would have been on the same screen, but I did read that apparently Luke was supposed to be in this movie more, but they cut a lot of scenes because they didn't want to take away from the new characters as much. Because obviously, Rey and Finn and Poe and all of them are supposed to be like the next kind of generation of what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Luke was also going to be kind of like Alec Guinness was in A New Hope, to where he was kind of like handing it off to Rey, but they didn't want to have him be as much of the spotlight since he was from like the original. So that was part of the reason he was, I guess, not in it as much. But.
And I can see that. I can see that you're wanting to move on to a new generation, and so you need to introduce the future characters. So it probably was a pretty good mix overall. It was good to see him on the screen again after that many years. Like I said, there was that little kid coming out in me. I tell you what, the one character I feel bad for is Chewie. Because when he watches Han get killed and starts shooting those stormtroopers, he's one pissed off Kashyyyk Wookiee. I mean, he is, and I was like, I mean, I was an adult man, and I'm probably teary-eyed, and I don't know if I was teary-eyed because Han got killed or I felt bad for Chewie. I remember walking out, and I think I told Amanda at the time, I'm like, if I would have known they was going to kill one of my childhood heroes, I would never came to the movie. And I've came around a little bit more, understanding that you got to move on. I think at the time
it's a twist. It's a twist that nobody saw coming.
It is, and I understand to get the amount of hate
that you need for Kylo Ren.
They had to have him kill his father.
Because it is something that it is the opposite of what Vader did. Like,
sure,
Vader saved Luke.
Yeah, Kylo
did not. Like, it is the opposite. Like,
yeah, it is, and at the fight scene at the end, I thought Adam Driver did good. I really didn't have a problem with him. When he's fighting Finn a little bit there in the snow. I thought the contrast of colors, you had the bright white snow, and then their lightsabers just popped.
It looks
they were bright. And, when I don't remember if it was when he was fighting Finn or Rey, but, he's hitting his side where, he took a bullet and he's bleeding. It's like, okay, you're a little crazy here, so it worked well. There's not really, I had a few little, I wrote down a few little problems. My biggest problem is just Rey's abilities. So powerful so far when Kylo Ren's trained in the Jedi powers and all this and that. It's like, here's some girl, like I said earlier, just knows how to fly the Millennium Falcon, has all these powers, and seems extremely strong with the Force. And it's like, okay. I don't know. That was probably my biggest problem.
She talks about being a pilot before they even get on. Like, when they're running to the ship, Finn makes the comment, like, where are we going to get a pilot? And she says, you've got one. So she makes the comment that she is a pilot. I don't know, like, obviously the Falcon is its own thing, but I don't know where she learned to fly or, what she has flown before.
Yeah, she did say that and stuff. It's just, I'm thinking of looking at her type of life and everything else. I'm like, well.
And she's obviously hasn't left Jakku that much because she talks about, not wanting to, has to go back. Like, she keeps commenting that she needs to go back. So I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Once again, don't really ever dive into that.
Yeah, you don't ever really get that much backstory. So
no, I tell you what, the opening scene where you see her and then she slides down that sand dune. That's a really cool scene. It's such a simple concept, but with everything in the background and seeing that I just there was something about that scene that when I was watching that, and I think rewatching it, the music is perfect.
Yeah.
The music that ties in with that is great.
When you realize, like, because at the beginning you don't know what it is, like, you just see her moving around, but after, like, when you start to see her move, like, get out a little bit and you realize that it's like some of the old Empire ships, the Star Destroyers, it's pretty cool. It's like that's
in the background,
it's like that's
and then when they're flying through the one, when she's piloting the Millennium Falcon, and I tell you what, I always enjoyed. C-3PO was a little snarky, a little bit kind of like K2SO or KS20. I always get my letters mixed up. So you'll never replace R2-D2. But by God, if they ever killed him, BB-8 is great.
BB-8 is great. They seemed I do like BB-8. I do think they made BB-8 more like a child, though.
I like it. I like it. There's a
Okay.
lot of emotion there. For me, yeah, I kind of like
They
that. And
made it. They made
actually,
him more playful. They made him more
they
like a
did.
playful child.
They did, but it also they made him where he could show emotion.
That's true.
And I really liked that. I read a little bit that George Lucas really wanted some he had the design for BB-8 in some of the original films
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that he really wanted. So it was, I don't know whether maybe technology obviously was a lot better now to make it work, because that's not CGI. That's actually, a droid
Him
working.
rolling
So
around is actually how it works.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but no, I really did. They did make him a little more playful and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but I actually enjoyed that. So, that aspect of it. So,
And you talk about the music. This, it's John Williams, which is, I mean, it's obviously going to be good. This is his. This movie gave him his 50th Oscar nomination, and it made him only the second person ever to get 50 or more Oscar nominations in history. So
did it say how many he had won out of all those nominations?
I don't know how many he's won, but I know this was his 50th nomination. There's only one other person who has ever done that. So
what? I'm assuming it was a composer.
No, it's Walt Disney.
It was another. Oh, really?
Walt Disney is the only other person who's ever gotten that many nominations.
Interesting. I did not know that.
So
I'd have to look up out of all those how many he won. I mean, the obvious.
I'm sure it's
a lot of nominations.
A handful. Yeah, I'm sure it's a handful.
I mean,
but yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, let's say he started in his young to mid 20s.
Yeah.
That puts him in his mid to late 70s. I mean, that's roughly a movie a year. He's getting, hell, he's almost getting nominated for every movie he does, it sounds like. I mean, that is insane. I did not know that.
Because he's also he's now also the oldest person to ever be nominated with, what one did he get nominated a couple years ago for? He got nominated a couple years ago for one, and it might have been the most recent Indiana Jones movie, but I don't remember.
He's so
at
good.
like 92, he got nominated, and he became the oldest person to ever be nominated. So
yeah.
But yeah. So
there was a couple lines I wrote down that was from I've got a bad feeling about this and stuff like that. So like I said, there was a lot to like. I mean,
whenever Rey says the Falcon is garbage, I mean, Leia calls it a bucket of bolts. Luke calls it a piece of junk. Like they all call it something along those lines. So there's several lines that kind of play back to other things like that too.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, I had read reviews going into it. The hype was, I was just as excited to see it as I was the Phantom Menace, because it had been so long with the Phantom Menace and stuff. Now, I was not near as disappointed as I was with the Phantom Menace. But, yes, I walked out of the theater, like I said, other than the Han thing. As I've aged, I understand why they did what they did. Just, but I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to see characters that you grew up with.
Yeah, I get it. Like, you were a kid. He was like a hero to you as a kid. I get it. Like, I understand that point. I mean, but yeah, it is. I understand the reason for killing off Han Solo. He's also like, in this movie, he's getting older. Like, he's not going to be able to keep playing that character forever, because he's, Harrison Ford in general is getting older. So
he is. And looking back on it, I would have rather had this happen than him just not be in the movie.
Yeah.
And them just kind of say, and make up some storyline.
Yeah.
I still would have rather have had this. The one character that I would have walked out of the theater, they would have killed Chewie. Chewie is like my all-time favorite character. Yeah. And, no spoiler here. The man,
Chewie Chewie's already like 300 years old at this point. So, because in Solo, he mentioned, like, him and Han are talking, and he's like 190 something years old or something like that. He's like, because Han makes a joke about it. He's like, Chewie says something. He's like 190 something years old. He's like, so like Chewie's already old. Like, so Chewie could technically like live forever in this theoretical universe. Like,
I
mean,
he's the staple. Everyone else is basically
whether in real life or character wise. But yeah, it's. But yeah, no. There. Here's the other one. Who was the old man at the beginning?
Yeah.
That seemed to have a very important, or he had the knowledge of Princess Leia.
Know.
He had that, and there is nothing.
There isn't anything that tells you what's going on with him. And I don't know if it's like in another show or something, but it almost seems like you're supposed to know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And I have no clue.
No clue at all.
No idea. He's listed in the list of cast, but the name didn't ring a bell of like who his character is either. So I don't know who he's supposed to be. I don't have a clue, but it seems like he's supposed to be a known person, and I didn't have a clue.
I didn't know who he was. And I'm trying to figure out how some people know what Chewie's saying and some people don't.
Yeah, because Han knows from the beginning. Han is able to understand Chewie from the moment he meets him, and
Rey understands him, but Finn doesn't.
Yeah,
Finn doesn't understand what.
Finn doesn't understand anybody. So Rey understands BB-8 from the beginning too.
Exactly. So it's like, are we just supposed to believe this is the Force again, or, I mean, once again, just the little things I'm picking at.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how that one works because I don't really know how that one works because I've never understood that one either because it seems random who can understand what different characters in this. So it's never. I don't know if
consistency.
I don't know if it's just they've learned the idea is just kind of like me and you, if you knew Spanish and I didn't, I don't know if it's just kind of that you just don't know who knows what language in this universe or not. Since everybody's traveling all over the galaxy, you don't know who knows what languages, and that's all there is to it. But that's kind of at this point, that's kind of what I've come up with. And the only reason Rey knows what droids sound like is because she's been a scavenger on this planet and she deals with them.
She deals with them all the time, and maybe that's it. I mean, I understand one droid understanding another droid. I get that, but yeah, no, it's
Finn's good. And Finn's a clone. He just never was taught how to understand anything. So
exactly, he seemed lost a lot.
Yeah, he just was taught how to fight. That's it.
And there was. I thought there was enough mixed in humor. I mean, I thought the humor, it was timed well, and
there is a good amount of quippy jokes. It is regularly in here, which is I felt like it was even more than the old ones, which is I think normal for movies now. It's pretty regular that you have quippy jokes in for on a regular basis for movies now, and which is fine.
It worked well.
Yeah, I think it was fine. But it was just it was pretty regular that it would be a little joke somewhere, quippy little joke somewhere. So, but
yeah, and real quick before we wrap this up and everything, when they go to visit, is it Maz?
Maz,
yeah. And Rey goes down there and grabs a lightsaber. She has these flashbacks. But then she's carrying it with her when she hands it to Luke at the end. And it's like, okay, I was confused why she had them then, but she wasn't still having them. I don't know if it's a one-time thing. She learned how to control it.
I don't know, because she said that it was calling to her. So I don't know if it was just calling to get her to it. And that was it. It was calling to try to call her to it so that she would go pick it up, and that was it. Also, when I saw the lightsaber, it didn't look like Luke's to me. It looked like Vader's, which I thought was interesting.
Well, since you do have a Vader lightsaber,
and I actually have Luke's too. So.
I did not know that.
And they don't look the same. And she says that it was Luke's and his father before him. Is what Maz says.
Yeah.
So And it looks
which
like
one is
Vader's,
you
not
think it's
Luke's.
Vader's?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was Vader's originally, because it also in like the flashback.
Well, if you remember
it's
in A New Hope, Obi-Wan wants to give him his dad's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Which would have been Vader's, but how did he get that? Because
But I think it's Vader's from like when Vader is Vader. So like Vader as like actually fighting as Vader, like when Vader is fighting like Obi-Wan.
Well, you see what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's saying this was your father's, he wanted to have when it was older. When he cut off Anakin's legs there in the volcanoes, I don't remember him taking his. So, but when Vader actually gets killed by, well, he dies because of taking his helmet off.
Mm-hmm.
Luke would have had the lights. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, and maybe there's an explanation that I would have to read and explain it. But I have to admit, when she took it in her hand, I am not 100% familiar with what each one looks like. So you could probably pull up a picture and see between your two which one. That would be interesting to look up the explanation on.
I'm pretty sure the one that when she opens the box, I'm pretty sure the one that is in the box is Vader's.
Is Vader's.
Okay. And it should have a red blade.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know.
Doesn't.
I also don't know if you can change the color blade because I know the blade is based
blue.
on the kyber crystal that is in it. So I don't know if you can change the kyber crystal out, and that should change the color plate. I'm not versed in this in how that stuff works. I know that like you create your you can create your own saber and stuff like that as a
well,
Jedi,
if you think about it, all the Vader's was red, Darth Maul's is red, Kylo Ren's is red. Mm-hmm. I just always attributed that to red. Red was to me, just violent, bad, type thing. So if that's the case, then that would have been actually Luke's because it's blue.
Yeah. Because
Yoda's is green.
Yeah.
It's fitting for him, little green guy. So, yeah, I'm sure there's something to that, but it would be interesting to know. Because even if it was Vader's, then why was she having a flashback because those are flashbacks of Luke's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Once again, unanswered stuff. We find out more in the next couple movies, but some of this stuff that we're even questioning, they don't answer.
It doesn't really
get answered. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because they started out strong. Mm-hmm. They started out strong, and we'll see the next couple weeks. But
yeah, it kind of twists and turns a little bit. Not where you think it's going to go.
I'm going to be good. Is all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I enjoyed this. This was the most that I enjoyed. I mean, because this was before Rogue One.
Yes.
Even though as far as how they actually made them, even chronologically, Rogue One is first. But
yes. But this one came out before Rogue One.
It was really the first. Yeah.
Yeah, this was the first Disney one.
It was their first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were just inconsistent. They did this and, the Solo movie, and then Rogue One's great and stuff. So
where do you rank this?
Well, I keep doing this, and I know you said last week at the end of the very last one, I got to re-rank them. And then if someone is bored enough to go back through and watch these podcasts, they're going to be like, he's been all over the place.
Yeah, we're going to be all over the place.
Well, obviously, Empire's one. Rogue One's up there. New Hope. It's probably 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had Jedi last week at 5.
Okay.
And this is probably Empire, New Hope. This one and Rogue One are right there together.
Okay.
So 3 or 4, and then Jedi was 5, and I think that's about what I was saying, because I think I had the Phantom Menace at like 6, if I remember right, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith is up there. That's what I'm saying. I don't really remember because, like I said, I did enjoy Revenge of the Sith a lot more rewatching it than I did the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, where do you got it?
I can't even remember where I put the other ones, to tell you the truth. Because I haven't been writing them down or anything, so I can't even
remember
where I put them.
Yeah.
Where I put them.
I feel like I'm putting all these at like 4.
Yeah,
Each week it's like 4, and it's like, well, that can't work.
Which pretty basically just means everything else just moves down, is what is to me what that means. Is,
and I don't know if that's just because I'm watching it that week, and it's like, oh yeah, and if I went back and watched something else, would I bump it? So
possibly, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd put it below Rogue One, but I think I'd put it. I think I'd probably put it at 4. Yeah, I'd probably put it at 4 as well. Because I think it would be after A New Hope and Empire, but I think it and Rogue One, but I think it'd be above, Revenge of the Sith and Jedi. So
Jedi.
Yeah. So right now it'd be at 4.
Yeah. They just did so much bringing in. Like I said, they did a really good job mixing in the new characters who were good actors. I mean, Rey was great. It was very believable. Good emotion and stuff, and I thought on the screen, her and Kylo Ren, which is just the beginning because they're going to have several scenes coming up. But they work well together. A lot of people speculated early on after this first movie, oh, are they brother sister? We know that Kylo's Han's son, but it's like, once again, did they do this where they're twins and got separated type thing? Or...
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a little far-fetched with this, because like Luke and Leia know who their kids
were. True, but with some of the other stuff, you just never know because they keep repeating the freaking planet that you can destroy. So but yeah, no.
Also,
overall,
the fact that
overall probably 4.
Going back to that, the fact that it took them so long to build Death Stars, and you built a freaking planet that can do this in 30 years? Yeah. No.
No. Yeah. Not just exactly.
Not just a Death Star. You built a planet. You built a planet that can kill multiple planets at once in 30. No. Nope.
Yeah, and I did have to laugh a little bit, and it's like 2 minutes till it's fully charged, and I was watching time on real time. It's like 7 minutes. It's like, okay.
No, I thought it was like 10 minutes or something till it was fully charged.
It's long. Yeah. Well, it took them. They said 10 minutes, but then the countdown was like it's going to be fully charged in 2 minutes.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's back when Rey and Kylo are still fighting and everything before the big divide, and then Chewie swoops in to rescue. But it's like, how did they get off the planet that fast? I mean.
Oh, I don't know.
I understand. I'm nitpicking a little bit, but yeah, it's overall so good though. I mean,
it was good. That's why I went and saw it several times in the theaters. Like, I did go see it, like, and that's also because like you said, it had been so long since a Star Wars movie had been out. I think this was the first movie that I had seen in theaters in like 10 years or something like that. So, it was just I went and saw it like 3 or 4 times in the theaters because it was just fun to see, and I enjoyed it, and it looks incredible to watch. The fight scenes look amazing because, everything looks crisp and just incredible. It's fun to see the Falcon again, like when they're, it's just, and it's fun to see Han and Chewy again. It's just fun in general.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. So, unfortunately, it just goes downhill. But
unfortunately, it goes downhill.
Yes, we'll enjoy this one for what it is.
Exactly. I think that's it for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and next week we will be watching Star Wars Episode 8. Is it the Last Jedi?
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Right. The Last Jedi. So don't forget to watch that one and come back here and join us for that.